Yeah, these loading things were kind of strange.
Is this a loading screen?
Yeah, it's a loading screen. What was the last time you played this?
I barely played it.
Oh, really? I thought you played like half of the game or something.
Not at all.
How far, did you get to the American Revolution
We're here.
part? Oh.
No. I didn't play that far.
Oh.
Yeah, I just was like, okay, well, I don't know. I just didn't care about anybody in this game. I don't know what the deal was, but
Maybe it was because it was like the end of the
Let's go.
Ezio story was so good. This game was just like, I don't want to like have to not learn a character over again, but like see the beginning of a character again. You know, it's like,
yeah.
because it's just like, especially if it's only going to be in one game, you're like, I don't really care.
I think my problems had to do with shoddy stealth and poor writing.
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
they've always had problems with the stealth things in this game.
Yeah.
Which is weird because
It's weird because they made Splinter Cell, which is my favorite stealth game of all time. So I don't know.
yeah, they were trying too hard to be that.
The original Splinter Cells. That conviction garbage that they put out later.
You ever played that game?
Yeah, that
I've never played it.
should have been called the Born
Yeah.
Conviction. I don't know.
In another moment, down went Alice.
They were actually trying to make it more like
never once
this game.
considering how in the world she was to get out
So they're
again.
way behind on facial expressions. They look like they belong on a Universal Studios ride.
Yeah, this is.
Behind.
And this game, like, is running technically on a next-gen engine, but there's so many like loading screens in this game. You're like, I don't need it to load that much. I mean, they needed it to load that much because they needed to.
Because they didn't have the
game, but they didn't have the necessary power to not have that many loading screens.
Okay. Apple.
Apple. So, what was your favorite
I think
Ezio?
we're here.
I really liked Brotherhood.
Really?
Yeah, I really did. You were okay with Brotherhood, but you liked Revelations better, I think, right?
Yeah, Revelation.
Granted,
was
I liked
better.
Revelations a lot too. I liked the whole. Actually, the funny thing was is that I wasn't sure. I liked the first one.
You mean 2 or?
No, Assassin's Creed 1, which I don't think many people did.
Yeah, I liked it a lot actually because it was a different time period than we're actually used to seeing. Because you usually didn't get like.
It was just interesting, you
Yeah.
know. Gameplay mechanics were interesting. It was incredibly repetitive, but I enjoyed it. I'll be honest. And then the second one came out, and I wasn't sure how I felt about Ezio at first. And then Brotherhood came out, I loved it. And then Revelations came out, and I liked that one too.
I mean, the second one was kind of like weird to me because not weird because I liked it. It was just that I thought the ending was a cop out. You're like, oh, aliens. Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like so.
Like forgetting the whole end, like the whole conspiracy, you know, alien sort of theory. I just liked the fact. You know, I don't know that it needs this.
Yeah, it doesn't need it. I think they're realizing that in 4 because you barely played it in 4.
You know, like it's just like, okay, well, you know, interesting concept at first, but it's just like, okay, how about we just play assassins? What if Ezio just like had to get this one guy? Like there was some sort of conspiracy that had nothing to do with aliens.
Yeah.
And you just go after. You know.
It was almost like they were like, well, we want to do this historical thing, but we know people will probably get bored of it, or they thought people would get bored of it. And they were
It's
like,
weird. I loved actually Assassin's Creed 2. What I liked about I played it through a second time recently,
yeah.
and I actually enjoyed it a lot more
Son.
because it kind of felt like an almost Count of Monte Cristo sort of deal.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's basically what it was. It was kind of like Crystal Code.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
And now
Absolutely.
we're about 85 minutes into this game, and we're barely even started.
Do you hear us?
Yeah. What happened?
The temple trigger.
You'll be seeing a lot of these loading screens throughout this game.
So naturally, you dropped me into the Animus instead of, I don't know, making sure I was okay.
Yeah, I know.
You weren't in any danger. Besides, the temple appeared to be communicating.
And it's funny because they're trying to like get you involved with Desmond
At least not until we knew what
and
it
his father, and like
It almost worked in Revelations.
that whole like
No, it's
relationship. But you can totally skip that thing in Revelations because that's when they started.
Yeah,
it.
you don't have to do
And
it.
it's like I didn't know what was going on here.
No
But
idea
yeah,
where it
it's
is.
like so he's angry at his father for no
That's
apparent
why she
reason.
treated
I was
me
just
this
like,
way.
Yeah, I know.
She.
I mean, did you do any of that
You
stuff?
I actually did. The second time I played through Revelations, I
Talking to me.
I finished that whole storyline.
Oh.
And
Was it good or is it
what the whole
father son thing or was it just kind of like there?
you mean the memories like that were on Animus Island?
Yeah.
They had to access?
Yeah,
It was interesting, you know, it was just interesting to
All right. What do you need me to do?
hear about Desmond's past. But ultimately not enough to justify that this storyline continued.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like I'm not big on.
The funny thing was that I think the best part of this game was the first 5 hours because you were playing someone that you didn't know who it was. You were playing, and I think.
What do you mean, like as far as like
Meaning
where his
Hatham.
affiliations were?
Yeah, and also Hatham was more interesting, I think, than Connor. Hatham was just like, oh, I want to play this the whole game, but then it was just like, now I'm playing Connor like halfway through the game, and
You're playing Connor halfway through the game?
yeah, you start playing Connor halfway through the game, like literally halfway through the game.
Oh. Yeah, I never got to Connor.
You never got to Connor.
No.
That's how long you play Hatham for. You never got to Connor. It's like, so you have to like learn, like you have to get involved with two people's stories, but they don't give you enough time to because it's just like I care about Hatham by this point, and then you're making me start over. You know?
Yeah.
Like that's why I think like watching all the extra stuff they have for the Ezio trilogy. I think the Ezio I just consider that to be an ending for the Desmond arc. 'Cause that's where it should have ended, at least in my opinion.
Hold R1 and press X to jump. Okay. Oh, I didn't see that route.
The weird thing to me is this is a whole new engine from the, from
Right.
the one they started out with in the first game, and yet they still have these same issues about him. Like, if you run up to a building, he just holds his hands up and like, it has the same parkour issues.
What do you mean, like he won't?
Yeah, he
interact
won't
with
like
the
climb
environment?
a building. Like sometimes he won't climb buildings, and then sometimes.
Should be able to build the world. Time to find out what the temple wants from me.
Look at me. I'm fancy. Wonder if you could get that in real life. I dress like that all the time. Look at that.
It would take you a long time to get dressed.
Doesn't matter. I'd just be like, well, hello.
See, I thought that this is actually a really cool thing where the Animus forms the thing around you, so I thought they would do this every sequence. No, they don't. It's like,
It's like, well, so much
so much for a
different
cool
idea.
yeah.
I'm British. I know how to queue.
Where should I?